Hi guys, I'm Dustin the Blind Minnesotan. Today I want to talk about Bloomington and Richfield, Minnesota. Bloomington and Richfield, Minnesota, they're suburbs of Minneapolis, but on the south side of it. Bloomington and Richfield are perfect cities for people moving into Minnesota to work in. So pretend if I was coming from Guatemala and I was coming to Minnesota. I would find an apartment in South Minneapolis. I would find it in the Uptown neighborhood, the Whittier neighborhood, the Longfellow neighborhood, the Sherwood neighborhood, the Cedarside, Riverside neighborhood. And I'll find an apartment in there. Because in South Minneapolis, if you don't have a car, you can get some very good rents that are affordable. And then you will have access to all that public transportation systems that South Minneapolis has, where you can easily get to work without needing a car. And if I was from Guatemala and coming to the United States for work, I would choose to work in Richfield and Bloomington because Richfield and Bloomington have very stable economies. Like a lot of people who live in Richfield and Bloomington, they have the money to rent or buy a house. There's tourists that come into Bloomington, the Bloomington Airport. Technically, it's called Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport, but in my head it's called the Bloomington Airport because it's in Bloomington. They land at the Minneapolis-St. Paul/Bloomington Airport, and then they hang out at the Mall of America. Then they hop on the D bus, and they go hang out in other parts of Bloomington, and then they hang out in Richfield because of that D bus. And then they go hang out in South Minneapolis because of the D bus, or they take the train into downtown Minneapolis because of the train if they don't want to take the D bus, and then they take the train back back to Bloomington. There's so much tourism that happens in Richfield and Bloomington that makes the economy stable. And there's so much public transportation between downtown Minneapolis, South Minneapolis, and Richfield and Bloomington that runs 24 hours a day, that if you're living in South Minneapolis where rent is cheap, because, South Minneapolis isn't the safest area, but where rent is cheap, and you can take the bus to work to an area that has stable employment, I would do that. So I would encourage you guys to move your family into South Minneapolis, and then take the 18, the D, or the Blue Line train to work at any job in Richfield or Bloomington. And some of the jobs that people can easily get into and easily work at without having much experience is McDonald's, Subway, Burger King, Taco Bell, Wendy's, Culver's, Applebee's, more like any kind of restaurant. More like fast food restaurant. So then because with those industries, you just need to know how to cook food. And a lot of people from South America and Mexico know how to cook. So it's like instead of them cooking for what they do at home, they're just cooking for strangers. So the bar for that is really low because they're not that picky as long as you don't poison all the customers with the food. So after you move to into South Minneapolis, you can apply for all those restaurants on the 18D bus. You can apply for all those restaurants on the Blue Line bus, the D bus, and then you can apply for all those jobs in restaurants on the Blue Line train. So then but in those three, the 18 bus runs 24 hours a day. The D bus runs 24 hours a day, and the Blue Line train runs 24 hours a day. And the restaurant industry is also very stable in Richfield and Bloomington because all the tourist traffic that comes through there, like if you're a tourist, you don't want to make a burger in your hotel room. No, you want to go out to eat, get the burger, and then go home, back to your hotel room. So then the fast food and the restaurant industries do very good there. And the only issue with the restaurant industry and the fast food industry is it's very, very high intensity work with little pay. But little pay here is like $12.50 an hour. So our little pay is still, for someone coming from outside the United States, is good pay. But so you'd be making better money than you would be doing in Mexico and South America. You're cooking food. They're not so picky on the education requirements in the food industry. And the good thing is downtown Minneapolis has this library called the Minneapolis Central Library. On the second floor of the Minneapolis Central Library, there's a workforce center. It looks like a computer lab, but next to it, there's like a little desk that says customer service. You can go to that customer service desk and say, hey, I need help applying for a job. And then they'll get you a Spanish translator that will help you fill out the job application. And then also, up there's like a little shelf with all these flyers in it that will tell you how to find references, how to make a resume. And you can get them in Somali, you can get them in Spanish, you can get them in English, and you can get them in Hmong. Hmong is a language that's from Vietnam. So you can get them in Hmong. And then I think they have them in Chinese, Japanese, and other languages, but I'm not sure. So then it'll teach you how to make like a resume. There's papers there that teach you how to do an interview. And on the second level of the library too, there's the staff up there will teach you how to pass an interview as an immigrant or someone who's lived in Minnesota for a while, but just re-entering the workforce. So the Minneapolis Central Library, that's what they kind of do. So when you go there, you want to go to the second level. In the second level, they will teach you how to do that stuff. How do you pay your bills? What are bank cards? What are debit cards? What is a bank account? What is a credit union? How is a credit union different than a bank? While saving your money. They'll teach you all that stuff at the Minneapolis Central Library, but you just have to take the time. And the good thing is if you live in South Minneapolis, you can easily take a bus to the Minneapolis Central Library because it's right in downtown. And then so it's easy for you to get there for them to help you. And if you don't want to take the bus, the Minneapolis Central Library does have a underground parking spot where people can drive to. And when you go underneath the parking ramp, I'll give you a little paper. And then you park. And then when you're done at the library, right before you get to the elevator, go back downstairs, you see the little ATM. And what you do is you put your paper in there and then you pay for like your parking, and that little ATM will give you a different slip. You take that different slip as you go with you downstairs, and then when you're leaving, you put that slip into the machine, and then it lets you out of the parking ramp because it knows that you paid. And then you can go home. So the Minneapolis Central Library has a coffee shop. So if you're there for a while, you can take a break, go get a muffin or cookies or whatever, then come back. There's a Whole Foods right across the road, like to the right. So when you see a big office tower, and then you look to the right, you see Whole Foods. So then on your way home, you can walk over to Whole Foods, get some groceries, then pay for your parking and leave. So it's kind of like, very flexible. The Minneapolis Central Library has security guards. It has Wi-Fi. So when you get your own computer from place like Free Geek or PCs for People, where you can get computers for cheap, if you get a computer there and connect to their wireless Wi-Fi, you can do things on your own computer without needing to use the libraries, and it makes things so much easier. And then also, the main streets that have the restaurants, the jobs and stuff in South Minneapolis and Richfield going south is called Nicollet Avenue. And Nicollet Avenue will take you from downtown Minneapolis through South Minneapolis into Richfield, and then it ends on American Boulevard in Bloomington. And that road there in South Minneapolis is full of mom and pop stores, full of restaurants of all kinds. That's a good road for you to work on in that part of the neighborhood. And then you go into Richfield, where there's more corporate restaurants and stuff like Denny's, McDonald's, and then there's corporate stores like Walgreens, and and then when you hit American Boulevard and you're in Bloomington, when you're going to Bloomington, because when you're going down Nicollet Avenue, you'll see a giant Menards, and you see a gas station, and then you'll see a bridge, and once you go over that bridge, you're in Bloomington. And that's where the 18 bus stops. It stops right next to that Culver's. So then you can work, if you live in South Minneapolis, you can work on all that, right? You can work on right there on Nicollet Avenue. And then if you really wanted to, you can get off the 18 bus and you can walk down American Boulevard going east. And if you go east, you'll run into the Blue Line and the Walmart, the D bus, the bus that goes to Burnsville, and there's a Walmart, a Great Wolf Lodge, DCM Services, and all that, the Mall of America, all just a few blocks down American Boulevard to the east. Or what you can do is you can hop on that D bus that instead of walking, it'll take you down American Boulevard all the way to Walmart. And the Great Wolf Lodge, IKEA, Mall of America, all in that direction. And also, you can also hop on that D bus, go to downtown Minneapolis, and go down, work on Chicago Avenue, and then in those roads over there, and then go through downtown Minneapolis, and you can go all the way to Brooklyn Center. So then you can do a giant square there, and you can work in that giant square. And then also the D bus will take you to Mall of America, where you can then you can also take the train through South Minneapolis all the way to downtown. So it's a giant kind of square there. And then American Boulevard in Bloomington has restaurants between the 18 bus and the D bus and the Blue Line train on American Boulevard there. There's hotels, there's restaurants, and all that stuff you can also work at. And that whole street there, American Boulevard, is all tourists coming to see the Mall of America, and they're hungry, so they might stop at Denny's right across the street from their hotel. They might stop at Outback Steakhouse, And you mean, and they'll eat all right there. They might go to Great Wolf Lodge to go swimming. And then in the morning, they'll take the D bus and go to the Mall of America, or they'll take the D bus to go to Richfield, or they'll take the D bus to go downtown Minneapolis to party, and then they'll take the D bus back home, or they'll take the D bus all the way to Brooklyn Center, or they'll take the D bus to the Walmart, get off, and they'll go to Burnsville, or they'll keep walking west on American Boulevard, hop on the 18, and go shopping in Richfield along that bus. So there's so many things, so many job opportunities in stores and retail opportunities in like the Richfield, Bloomington area, that if you're immigrant and you move to South Minneapolis, you're going to have plenty of job opportunities in that area. And also, Bloomington, you would be very useful because there's tourists from South America and Mexico who like to visit those areas and spend money because everyone wants to know how the Mall of America's like. So then the good thing about you knowing Spanish and English is if you're an immigrant and you work in that areas, you can talk to both customers. You can talk to the customers who speak Spanish, and you can talk to, because you're a Spanish speaking person, and then you can talk to customers in English if you learn English, and then you're going to have job security because you're hitting both people in the tourism market. So, and that'll give you even more job security. And then I like the city of Bloomington. Bloomington has everything you need. It has the Mall of America, it has Walmart, and then right there is Richfield, where it has like the stores that Bloomington doesn't have. And then there's downtown Minneapolis where you can party. So and there's bus lines that will connect you to the mall. So, and then you can just have to live in South Minneapolis where rent is cheaper, and you can hop on those bus lines and activate all those job opportunities. And also, if you can't afford an apartment in South Minneapolis, there's all these hotels you can stay on American Boulevard in Bloomington. So you can maybe go to a hotel and say, hey, I don't have any home. Can I pay you $850 to $950 a month for me to live in your hotel? And then if they agree, you can you can sleep in all those hotels on American Boulevard. So then you can work at the Mall of America or any of those hotels on American Boulevard. Or you can take the 18, the D, or the Blue Line, and you can work in South Minneapolis. So it's a good area for immigrants to move to. And also, Bloomington, Richfield, and South Minneapolis, they're building so many new apartments that if you find some roommates, you can split apartment unit into 4 or 5 halves. And then you and your friends can afford to live in all those new apartments that are popping up. And it's worth living in those new apartments because these new apartments come with swimming pools, fitness centers, and dog washing centers, dog parks, and other cool amenities. So, and that's a good area. And also, in South Minneapolis, there's a road called Lake Street that goes from uptown in South Minneapolis to Longfellow that's in southeast Minneapolis. And that Lake Street area has so many shops, stores, food places for new immigrants coming to the United States to live in. And not to live in, but to work in. And brand new apartments they're building there. They have old apartments. There's the 21 bus they'll take you right down that road. So it'd be tend to feel like you live in Uptown. You can get to work in Southeast Minneapolis in Longfellow just right on the bus. It's about a half an hour bus ride, but you can still do it because working and taking a half an hour bus ride is better than not working. But the issue is just job stability, and on Lake Street is a little bit more stable, not as stable as working in Richfield or Bloomington, because there's less foot traffic. When your area has less foot traffic, a business can't make as much money, so then you're not getting paid. So at least if you work in Richfield and Bloomington, I know that you're going to get enough foot traffic to get the money that the business needs to pay you, so your business isn't going to close, and then you're going to still get paid. So that's why I say you want to go to Richfield and Bloomington, and then to get the jobs and also the good public transportation. And then the companies like the Mall of America, they need hundreds and hundreds of workers, because the Mall of America has this place called Nickelodeon Universe. And Nickelodeon Universe is a giant theme park. It's like a massive theme park. But with a theme park, you need ride operators that can control the rides. You need people to load people onto the rides. And then you need people to work in the food courts, in the theme park, to sell popcorn, to sell snacks, and all that stuff. And then you need people to direct the lines, because with hundreds and hundreds of people in these lines, if there's no one to direct the traffic, the theme park gets out of control. They need security guards. The Mall of America needs security guards to protect the people in the theme park. And if you're an immigrant from Mexico, if you're a Hispanic immigrant from Mexico or South America and you're looking for a job, the Mall of America is a good place to work, because the Mall of America is always busy. They're busy on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, on a Sunday. The Mall of America is always busy. And the Mall of America needs customer service staff to work at the East, North, and West desks, where they sell rental strollers, rental carts, and all that stuff. Plus, the Mall of America also has 500 plus stores in the mall, like Nike, Under Armour, Lululemon, that need employees to run the store. And also those employees normally get discounts off the clothes. So it'd be kind of like you're from Columbia and you get a job at Lululemon, right? And you have a mom that lives in Columbia that loves Lululemon clothes. Because you work at Lululemon, you get a discount on Lululemon clothes. So then you can buy your mom those clothes at a discount while being able to send her some money. So then, and pay your bills. And then you can mail your mom discounted clothes from Lululemon. So then your mom can wear those Lululemon clothes, for example, and get some of your money, and you still have money to pay your bills. So even if you're living in a hotel in Bloomington and Richfield, even if you're living in a new apartment in Bloomington and Richfield, and you're splitting a place with 5 people, at least you're able to still pay your bills, live your American dream, send some money back to your parents and your families, and get discount on the items they want. So it helps you win-win no matter what. And also, if you work at the Mall of America, for the Mall of America, and work in Nickelodeon Universe, on your days off, if you bring your work badge, you get free all-day rides. So pretend if like you're bored and you have no one to hang out with and you don't want to hang out with your roommates, you can go to the Mall of America, show them your badge, your work badge, if you work for the mall itself, and you can ride rides all day for free. And then you get discount off the popcorn in the theme park, the food's off in the theme park. And if you work for the Mall of America, sometimes if you go to the food court, they give you a discount on sometimes some of the food places will give you a discount for working for the mall. And then pretend if like you work for AMW at the Mall of America, you'll get discounts sometimes, depends on what AMW you work for at the mall, because there's two, on food. So then the good thing is it'll save you money off your grocery bill because you're eating food from the restaurant that you're working at. So, and then the restaurants at the Mall of America are always so busy that you don't have to worry about the restaurant not making enough profit and closing down, making you get laid off. Because if you're coming all the way to Minnesota to work, you want to make sure that you're working in Bloomington and Richfield, so then you have job security. So then you don't come all the way to Minnesota and get laid off. And plus, you're going to run into other people that speak Spanish, that's from your homeland, visiting the Mall of America. So then that's a good place for you to work. And Great Wolf Lodge is a good place for you to work too, because you're going to run into people all over the world. You're going to get discounts on items at Great Wolf Lodge. And when your family comes and visits you, you can have them stay at your work and get some perks, you mean? And also another store would be good to work at is IKEA. IKEA in Bloomington, they get people from all over the world that visit that store. And the good thing is, if you work at IKEA, you get discount at their restaurant. And the good thing is you also get discount on furniture. So if you work for IKEA and you're just coming to America and you don't have any furniture, you don't have any mattresses and stuff, you can use your employee discount to save you some money if you work for IKEA. So the good thing is also, if like you're just new to the United States, working for IKEA is also another good spot. And another good spot in Bloomington to work at is Walmart. One of the biggest, most powerful grocery store chains in the world. Because the Walmart, you can get Walmart, sometimes they give, if you work enough hours, and it depends on the position you get discount off some food. You get discount off Walmart's phone plan. You get discount off Walmart's subscription service. It's because you work for Walmart. And then, Bloomington also has a Sam's Club. So if you work for Sam's Club, you can get a free Sam's Club membership, save money off food. And then if you work at the Richfield Menards, the good thing is you get discounts. Your friends can come to you and say, hey, I need a hammer, or I need nails, or I need whatever, and you can help them save money off that stuff. So pretend if you and your friend are renting a house and your door handle breaks. Well, you can use your discount working at Menards to buy a new door handle for your rental unit. So then you don't get in trouble by your landlord for having a broken door handle, because you use your discount to buy a new one and get it fixed. So and then pretend if like you guys end up working together and buying a house, you and your friends and the families you did come with, you can use your discount at Menards, to buy things that you need to update your house that you guys all bought together in the Bloomington, Richfield, South Minneapolis area. So there is a lot of perks, and also that area has a lot of mom and pop businesses, like in South Minneapolis and Richfield, on Long Nicollet Avenue and Lake Street. There's a lot of mom and pop businesses. There are also South Americans and Mexican business owners. So then, because you speak Spanish and they speak Spanish and your cultures are similar, you you guys have something to bond over, and then making your experience in the United States even better. Because if you can bond with your boss and relate to your boss, it makes things 100% better. Then also, if you live in that area, you'll have access to Hennepin County Medical Center. Hennepin County Medical Center is Minnesota's public clinic and hospital. So pretend if you get hurt at work and you get a burn, right? You can hop on the bus and go to Hennepin County Medical Center in downtown, and then where they can treat your burn for a cheaper price than you going to a private hospital or private clinic. And the good thing is you can get there because you have bus access. You don't have to rely on a friend or an ambulance or whatever to get you there, because you can just hop on the bus, take the bus to downtown, where you can go to Hennepin County Medical Center, and you can get your wounds treated. So Hennepin County Medical Center is a blessing for any immigrant who comes here to the United States, because it's a cheap place to get treatment for when you get hurt or sick or injured. And also you have access to Free Geek, because once you can take the train, the Blue Line train, get off at Lake Street, and then from there you can walk to Free Geek, that sells discounted computers and recycled computers that were fixed up and being resold to minimum wage workers. So you can go there, you can buy a new cell phone, you can buy a computer. So then and then you can use those devices when you take the train or the bus to downtown at the Minneapolis Central Library to help you apply for jobs, to help you contact employers. So the Minneapolis Central Library, once you get your own devices and you connect to their Wi-Fi, you can use that area to apply for jobs and get help. So, but then you can, and if something happens to your computer, you have a bunch of computer repair shops and phone repair shops in South Minneapolis that you can take the bus to. And if you want to find a cell phone provider or compare prices at cell phone providers, you can go from phone shop to phone shop in South Minneapolis that are all connected to a bus line. So then you can go, and then you can find the best place for you to get the phone service repaired and all that you need. So these are some kind of things you need to think about when you're choosing a neighborhood. That's why I'm saying South Minneapolis, Richfield, and Bloomington would be perfect for you, because you can meet these everyday problems just right on the bus line. And you don't need a car, you don't need an Uber, you don't need a taxi. And also, downtown Minneapolis has a Lunds and Barley's, it has a Trader Joe's, it has a Whole Foods, where if you live in South Minneapolis, Richfield, or Bloomington, you can bus to and do your grocery shopping and bus back home. South Minneapolis is a Cub Foods, a Kowalski's, a Whole Foods, a Lunds and Barley's also, that you can bus to if you don't want to bus all the way to downtown. And then downtown Minneapolis has concerts, events that you can bus to on the weekends and have a very, very good time. So that's why I'm saying, and then you can bus home and not worry about it. That's why I'm saying South Minneapolis, Richfield, and Bloomington are a wonderful area if you don't have a driver's license and you're new to the country of Minnesota and the United States, where you want to live, because of how all the three bus lines that run through that area and make the area super, uber, duper convenient. And also, when you eventually get comfortable in the United States and you want to start a business, there's plenty of credit unions in South Minneapolis, Richfield, and Bloomington that you can go to and say, hey, I'm an immigrant to the United States. I moved to this area. I want to start a business. And a credit union is good for that. It's good for people who are just moving to the United States and needing a place to build their wealth and a place to save their money and to start their new lives. So then if like you live in that area, South Minneapolis, Richfield, or Bloomington, you can walk or bike or take the bus to a credit union that's on public transportation or a walk path or a biking path. And then you can say, hey, this is my business, blah, blah, blah. Can I get a loan? Or, hey, I want a savings account to save my money. So if I need the money, I have it safe somewhere. Or that kind of stuff. Or you can save for your kid's college fund. All that kind of stuff at a credit union. And pretend if you find an empty spot on Lake Street and you say, hey, I want to start a pizza business. You can go to a credit union and tell them, hey, I want to rent the spot, start a pizza business. And they're more willing to help you create a pizza business than a bank would. Because a credit union is made to help people. It's made to help immigrants, disabled people, low-income people doing minimum wage jobs, help them build wealth and help them save money. So then like if you're in South Minneapolis, Richfield, or Bloomington, you have the public transportation to get you to a credit union where you can save your money, create a business, and create a new life for your family and your loved ones that are coming here to the United States. Well, guys, that's what I'll have to say today. I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.